Hello and welcome back to Off-Grid Style. I'm Nikki, and today we are going to continue our series on urban survival. Today's topic is going to be finding shelter, both conventional and some unconventional options in urban environments. 82% of Americans currently live in what is considered an urban area. That could be a big town, it could be a city, or a suburb. And that's why I'm doing this video, because I believe that it resonates with a lot of people. Please keep in mind, in this video, I'm not in any way suggesting that you do anything that breaks the law when you are searching for shelter in an SHTF situation. So let's get started on ways to find shelter in urban areas when you are trying to survive SHTF. Residential buildings. Obviously, staying in your own residential building, home, apartment, whatever it might be, is always going to be your safest and best bet because you're familiar with your immediate area. You know what you have in your home and what's around you and what's in your building or your neighbors have. So that's always the best idea. If you have to leave that particular location, then finding another residential building, apartment, or whatever maybe a friend has, that's going to be your next solution. And when you are thinking of residential buildings as solutions, please remember to be cautious at all times. It is possible you will find food and water in residential locations. Remember that water heaters are always a great source of water in an SHTF urban or rural situation. I have a video on that. Also, regardless of the SHTF situation, it is quite possible that the water in the water heaters will be safe to drink. I have not fully investigated nuclear issues and water heaters, but chances are it probably is going to be relatively safe to drink even in that situation. Public buildings are another option in an urban SHTF situation looking for shelter. Malls, office buildings, stores, you should be able to find some type of food, water, and definitely shelter can be found in these locations. Buildings, malls, office buildings, stores, they can all be made secure in one way or another. And there are myriad resources to be found in all of these locations. Abandoned buildings are also a great place to provide shelter for you. And again, they have many resources. And it also depends on the SHTF situation on what you are looking for and what you need. So remember to stay a little flexible. A caution on abandoned buildings: you will definitely need to take a thorough look and safety check at the abandoned building to make sure that it has structural integrity and that it is safe to stay in. So remember to do that prior to squatting down in an abandoned building. Underground spaces, and this is a lot of times an underutilized concept for most people. Most people feel safer when they're above ground, and actually the higher they go above ground, the more safe they feel. At least that's what studies say. So by doing the opposite and going downwards, you are going to allow yourself a whole new world of potential places to shelter in. That includes basements, subways, tunnels, if you have subways and if you have tunnels. Consider looking around now. These are things you should be just keeping in the back of your head. Look around now at places that are unconventional, like going underground, if those items are or those places are possible for you to utilize. Public locations, for example, parks and plazas, they can offer some form of shelter, even if it's a public bathroom or a large gazebo. You can easily find ways to insulate these types of shelters and also to provide security because they are a much smaller area. And in building temporary shelters, You can scavenge a lot of things, a lot of materials from the backs of large stores, from any large store. You'll find cardboard, you'll find foam, which is a great insulator as well. You may even find, if you're lucky, wooden pallets, which are going to be great to help you build a shelter. Large businesses are constantly throwing these things out. So check them out. Look around now and see what you might be able to use should an SHTF situation occur. It may take you a few trips in the SHTF situation to get the things you need, but it will be well worth it. Also look for rope or cord, or even the cords off of electrical appliances. You can cut those right at the base of the appliance and use that to tie things up with. You want to avoid dangerous situations when you are attempting to find and or build a shelter in an SHTF situation. So while searching and scavenging for items that you might need or could use, be very aware and use situational awareness constantly in your surroundings. You may also have to use more skilled things like hiding in plain sight, or just plain hiding until you make sure that you are by yourself. You do not want to have any risk to yourself when you're doing this. Fire safety becomes much more important in an SHTF situation, especially if you are in a makeshift shelter or an abandoned building that might have trash all over the place or that kind of thing. So always be aware when you are utilizing fire, which you will need for safe water, to keep warm, possibly to cook some food, about where that fire is at, how it's positioned. Is the wind blowing the sparks toward your shelter or away from your shelter? Also, another thing to do is, if you're going to light the fire, go ahead and light a small one, walk away, several hundreds, maybe 100 yards, 200 yards. See how noticeable your fire is. Perhaps you need to put a break in front of it to try to block some of that light from people that are far off that may see it and come towards you. Being adaptable and creative and resourceful are all skills you need to have in order to survive an SHTF situation, whether it be an urban one or not. Keep those things in mind. Definitely start looking now when you're out in your area. It's not like you're out there determined to figure this out this week, but just make a note. Hey, look, that store has a lot of wood pallets. Hey, that store seems to have a lot of cardboard boxes. So those are things that you can utilize. Just pay attention to them now, glance at them. Like I said, make a mental note, and this way you'll be a little bit more prepared should SHTF situations in urban areas occur. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please note that there are 2 more videos in this series, and there will be more forthcoming. So keep an eye out on our channel. Like, subscribe, hit the button, say hello. Tell me what you thought of the video, anything else you'd like to add. I always love hearing from you, and I always respond. Thanks. Have a great day.